Coming in good.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Loud and clear, 5x5. We're in the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, aliens.
That's right.
Did you go on the spree too?
Nope.
The watch spree?
Nope.
No.
Superior movies are just embedded in my brain.
Game over, man. When we went to record Logan, it was pre-Deadpool and Wolverine, and now that, Deadpool and Wolverine's come out. Have you watched it yet?
I have, yes.
Yeah. It's really funny how much it ties into to
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah.
So
I very much enjoyed it.
I did.
I did too. Yeah. I thought it was great, especially the opening credits.
Oh, yeah. All of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
Welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill.
I think.
Maybe. It's been a minute.
Sheesh.
Little bit.
Rust.
Little bit.
A little rust.
Gotta get that thing off.
Hey, you can't say those brands.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
that non-descriptive
those are
soda pop.
trademarked.
I got you.
They
I
can
just
wait.
heard-
They can talk with my assistant.
Poor Chelsea. Today we'll be reviewing Logan from 2017. Logan is a Western drama superhero film directed by James Mangold and written by Scott Frank, James Mangold, and Michael Green, based on the Old Man Logan story by Mark Millar and Stephen McNiven, and the character of Wolverine by Lin Wein, John Romita, and Herb Tripp, starring Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Daphne Keane, Richard E. Grant, Boyd Holbrook, and Stephen Merchant. Following in Old Man Logan and Charles Xavier as they come across a group of new mutants, one being Laura Kinney. Today, as always, I'm joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing?
What's going on?
What's
Oi, oi.
Oi,
Oi, oi. Have you guys watched anything new this week?
Let's see. Since the last time we spoke, a few movies have come across.
Yeah.
Watched the Barbie movie.
Nice.
What'd you think?
I was not impressed.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Having raised girls and giving them that message their entire childhood, I did not need that movie.
Oh, fair enough.
I got you.
I enjoyed the movie.
I thought it was one of the best movies of 2023.
It was fun, but it kind of bored me.
Yeah.
Really?
I'll never watch it again.
I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and then we went and saw A Quiet Place Day 1. So
Nice.
Dope.
it was
I
a
also watched
dope
Deadpool,
feature.
Wolverine.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
Saw
It was
that too.
hilarious. Yeah.
Quite good.
Well, I guess I shouldn't even bring up spoilers for that at all.
Yeah.
You probably
not.
shouldn't.
It was solid.
It was solid.
Solid movie.
Great cameos. Great.
Yeah.
Action was great.
Yep.
Action was
Oh, it was
on
great.
point.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see somebody who's grown up with like Iron Man and all of the MCU movies, how they would react to Deadpool and Wolverine, not growing up within like that Fox X-Men era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's
because-
true.
I bet it's less impressive to
Probably.
those
Probably.
kids.
Yeah.
But I love them just constantly jabbing Fox 20,
Oh.
20th century.
When they went in
Yeah.
and then the thing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
It was great.
it was
It was
great.
great.
You know, when they did the thing with the thing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're
I
talking
know,
about.
and
So
that's
yeah.
funny that you know what I'm talking
Sure.
about.
It was just right there.
Yeah, there it is. There it was.
I
Well,
also-
it's trash now.
I also loved the, oh, hey, it's this character.
Right.
Oh, never mind, it's not that character.
not
Yeah,
oh my
me
gosh.
too.
That was fantastic. So,
Me too.
And that post-credit scene referring back to it, Lee and I were talking about that.
It was
just
great.
so funny. That accent, too, was just, but I mean, both of the accents they made fun of, and I was like, oh my gosh. So,
Good times.
good times. Most definitely.
I will say, having watched that movie, I'm sure we all saw the same previews. Alien Romulus looked
Yeah.
terrifying.
Terrifying.
It looks great.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I mean, I really feel like it's what Alien would have been if it was made today.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Oh, yeah.
That part in the trailer where it shows that thing in her mouth.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
And
the
I'm
face
just like-
hugger.
Yeah. It looks great.
It does. I
At
cannot
least we know
wait.
she doesn't have a gag reflex.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
Hey, yo.
Whoa.
So we picked this movie because Deadpool and Wolverine were coming out, and also this is our very first superhero movie that we're reviewing for the podcast, and we figured what better superhero movie to review than Logan. Unfortunately, the first time we recorded this, we didn't actually record it. We were just
just
sitting in
playing.
a room.
We were just sitting in a room talking about Logan
Talking
for an
about
hour
Logan.
and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was
and
fine.
then realized it wasn't recording. And we gave up on it for 3 weeks.
Pretty much.
We looked at each other and there was like, there's no way I can go go back in and do that.
No.
It'll just sound horrible.
Right. And it wouldn't be genuine, you know what I mean? We had a really fun conversation. Just
Right.
unfortunate that it didn't get captured
Yeah.
on. So what was the first time you guys watched Logan?
In the theater.
In the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
saw it later on home video, but yeah, the first time I saw it was wow.
Wow.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Undeniable.
Yep.
Right. So not seeing it in theater with the discourse kind of around it, where you just kind of like, oh man, I really got to watch that now. Or
No, I don't listen to a lot of criticism or conspiracy or drama around any kind of movie. If it looks good to me, I'm going to watch it.
I got you.
If somebody says, well, it's dumb, you might like dumb stuff.
For sure.
And I do like dumb stuff
Right.
a lot, so
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with it.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the movie before we get into spoilers. Logan has a runtime of 137 minutes. It premiered at the Berlin International Film Festival February 17th of 2017. A release date of March 3rd, 2017. Had a budget of between $97 and $127 million, which doesn't really matter because it grossed $619.2 million. Top box office for that month: Beauty and the Beast, Logan, The Boss Baby, Kong Skull Island, Power Rangers, The Shack, Ghost in the Shell, Life, Chips, and Before I Fall. So,
What's Chips?
Chips
was the
Dax
Highway
Shepard
Patrol.
and Michael Pena.
Yeah.
It was the reboot.
terrible.
Yeah.
There was.
I never saw it.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters too.
Solid
unfortunately.
D.
Yeah.
Right up there with the raid, huh?
Ugh, Lisa Raid had some good fights.
That's true.
This one didn't.
Yeah,
No. I just gave it some props. Ease up.
Let's get into some facts about the movie without any spoilers. James Mangold stated that this movie is set in 2029 to avoid any conflict with the timeline established in Days of Future Past. But that his goal was to make a standalone movie that was not bound to continuing previous storylines or setting up sequels. Hugh Jackman stated in an interview that the only way that he would reprise his role is if he had a crossover between Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
And also if...
It'll never happen.
Yeah, it never happened. And also, if he got to fight the Hulk. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that this was made really before
any of that.
the MCU multiverse stuff, it's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
because they can easily tie it in. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great.
Well, it was 17, so we were still like MCU, but we weren't like multiverse. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. It was
Oh,
just
okay, yeah.
starting to like kick off. And,
For sure.
Just wrapping up the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
According to director James Mangold, allowing the movie to be R-rated was important, not so much for violent content, but for style. He said, in quote, "For me, what was most interesting is getting the studio to okay an R rating with something entirely different. They suddenly let go of the expectation that the film is going to play for children. When they let go of that, you are free in a myriad of ways. The scenes can be longer, ideas can be explored in dialogue, or otherwise can be more sophisticated. Storying pace can be more poetic and less built around an attention deficit theater."
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie definitely.
Is there a tornado going off again?
No.
Now, what's
not
that
bad.
sound from? Hold on, don't tell me. I know. Is it War of the Worlds?
Nope. Can I help?
No.
You can.
No. Hold on. I'll think about it. Anyways,
Ethan Hawke.
What?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke was in it.
First one.
Oh, it's
This
The
is-
Purge.
There we go.
Yeah. I will say this movie, Logan, I felt like it at times is just a tad bit slow.
Okay.
But I think it's like the storytelling of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it ever.
No.
I think that 2 hours and 17 minutes is a really long time
Right.
for a movie. Like,
Right.
that's a long movie.
Oh, it is.
But I thought they did great with this. Like, I was never bored.
You're that attention deficit audience he
no,
was
it
talking
just,
about.
It just kind of...
Because I don't think 2 hours is long
No.
at all.
Well, it depends on the movie because I've watched movies where an hour and a half is extremely
yeah.
long. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the pacing on it. I enjoyed
Yeah.
the pacing on it, but I also
Grave
like
of the Fireflies.
yeah.
It was an extremely long hour and a half
I should have
movie.
been a
Sure.
15-minute short. But
Right?
Oh my gosh! But that was for
I'm still bitter about that movie.
that's for a previous time.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
I'll never watch it again.
No,
Never.
no.
No, never.
Chelsea. She sent a picture of Seta and the sister, and she said, "Can you go get us food?" And I showed that to Logan, and Logan's like, "Oh!" And I'm
us
like,
food.
"Oh my gosh!"
I
Played
love-
the Firefly card.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
What'd you go get?
I don't remember. I think it was
Yeah.
Chinese or something.
Of course it would be.
Yeah.
Panda.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, that's not Chinese food.
Hunan.
Hunans.
Hunans. No.
Great Wall.
No. I went and got myself some rice, okay?
Oh, you made your own
And
Chinese.
I made my own Chinese. So, yeah.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
So he didn't go
over here.
get food. He
I
made
the
food.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else about this movie before we get into spoilers? Anything in note, acting or otherwise?
I mean, I don't know what else to say about this movie other than if you haven't seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, I agree.
I agreed with that.
Yeah, I think storytelling,
There-
acting, sets, fight scenes.
Yeah. Pace is really
Pace.
the only thing that you're going to really kind of maybe nitpick at a little bit.
That's it.
And that's
it.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it is just good.
Yeah,
It's good.
well thought out.
There's a little bit of some back and forth that could have been cut out maybe in the middle, in the first act. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no.
Not a
Yeah.
lot. Okay. So would you guys recommend people watch this?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anybody that's into superhero, X-Men, MCU, action, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's good all the way around.
I'd agree.
And
All
you
right.
don't need to know anything. That's another good point about this movie. You can go into it kind of. I'm assuming that everyone on the planet knows
Who Wolverine is.
Wolverine probably is if you go to a movie ever. So you don't really have to know a whole lot about him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very accessible.
I think that if someone like Jalissa watched it, she might not know who Professor X is. She might know who he is. Well, she wouldn't know his full potential.
Right.
So but that's it. But they do a great job of explaining that. So
Oh yeah, they make it very evident.
Oh, yeah. All right, Lee, count us down from spoilers if you could.
And we're golden.
So here's the thing, guys. I was so upset that of us not being able to record that I was like, I'd be worried that you guys would remember the questions. So then I changed the questions and I rewatched the movie.
Okay.
I'm glad you rewatch it. I did not rewatch it.
Me either.
So, okay.
I don't think I would have gotten the other questions right, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
What company is holding X-23 and the other children?
I got nothing.
I can't.
Alkaline Transigen.
That's it. I knew it. I knew it had something to do with Alkali Lake.
Yeah. What group is Pierce in charge of?
Pierce.
This is going to be a great review.
Oh,
He's
I
in
know.
charge of rounding up
Mutants, right?
No, he's in charge of the mutant children.
He has a group that he has that's hunting down the
Oh,
children.
I don't know the name of those guys.
The Reavers.
Reavers. Okay.
I don't even remember that in the movie.
I don't
so,
either.
yeah.
I remember the crew, but I don't
just
remember-
remember the name.
I don't
That's the
remember him
Reavers.
saying that.
Oh, he did.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
What is the doctor of Transigen's name?
Smith. I haven't got a clue.
I got nothing.
Xander Rice.
Xander Rice. In his
For how long did Logan have the adamantium bullet for?
20 years.
Since the Weapon X facility.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry. How long has it been?
Over.
How long has it been since a mutant was born?
25 years.
That's correct.
5 years.
You got one of them.
I did it!
We're dumb.
Man, these people listening, they're gonna be like,
This is the worst podcast ever.
Yeah, right.
No, you're wrong. This podcast is bullshit.
Yeah,
podcast
it
is
is
bullshit.
We start off the movie.
2029, El Paso, Texas.
Yep, and he is in his
Limo.
limo.
2024 Chrysler limo.
That
There we
does
go.
not look like a 2024.
No,
Definitely
it does not.
No,
I've not seen
it's
any
pretty
2024
badass.
It is
Chrysler
badass.
limo.
He's
look
sleeping
like
in the
that.
back of it,
Yep,
and it's getting jacked
and
up.
he wakes up to it shaking.
yep.
And goes out, and there's some guys out there trying to steal his tires.
Yeah.
This whole fight scene,
He warns them.
like,
Yeah, and he sets the tone
Yeah,
for the entire.
It
Yeah, he
does,
says,
it
"Listen,
does.
those are chrome.
you're gonna strip the lug nuts.
You're gonna strip them. They're chrome plated.
You don't want to do this.
You don't want to do this." And
You know,
they hit him with what did they hit him with? I can't remember.
crowbar.
Yeah, something like that.
Couple of
He goes
crowbars.
down. He gets
Then they
up.
shoot him,
He gets up. Then they shoot him.
and then he's done.
Yeah,
And then they're done.
and then they're done.
Yeah.
couple of
and
them dead. Couple of them missing some limbs.
He slices arms. And,
Arms. Oh,
yeah.
God.
He just sets the, like Calvin says,
It
sets
sounds-
the tone.
It sounds so bad, but I really like it when he
He gets mad.
does both the claws and someone's like chest.
Oh yeah.
And then it's in their face, like,
Yeah,
"Urgh."
yelling at him. Yeah.
Oh.
You suck.
I like that.
I love swiping limbs.
Even
That's
in
my
the-
favorite.
even in
This
the
guy
X-
goes to swing at him, he just goes, nope.
Chink. Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
even in
oh
the
my
X-Men
God.
movies, he just doesn't have boundaries.
No.
I don't think the Wolverine character has boundaries.
No.
Like, he's just like,
Once he goes full Wolverine,
it's not good.
He goes into this thing called berserker mode.
Yeah.
And when he does that, then he loses all sense of self and like
Humanity.
Well, everything. Like even if there's teammates will back up off of him because
He's gonna
they're in
swing.
the crossfire.
Yeah.
So and he
So-
could just tear him up just as much as anybody else that's over
He's
there.
a tough little bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He takes care of business and then goes back to Mexico.
Yes.
And this is where we meet, what was his name?
Charles Xavier.
no, we meet his
Caliban.
Caliban,
Yeah.
played by
Caliban.
Stephen Merchant.
Yep,
who
who-
played great job
Yeah, he can sense where mutants are. That's his power.
can smell
He can
mutants.
smell mutants.
from a very
And-
long
and
way
track
away.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, but he is the caregiver to Xavier
Right.
while Wolverine is out working to get the medicine
To save
keep-
money, to get him the boat, to get him out in the middle of the ocean, so Charles
Xavier
can't hurt
doesn't
anyone anymore.
kill anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we find out that Charles is not only super old,
97.
his brain is falling apart.
Yeah, and he keeps having
If he has-
telepathic seizures.
If he has a seizure, it just locks everything up.
and within minutes, it'll kill everyone around
Yeah.
him. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
He has dementia, but we get a little clear moment where he's talking to Logan.
Right.
And he says he's been communicating with a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, you're out of your mind. He's like, no, she's the mutant.
It hasn't been a
it's a
mutant
brand
more
new
than 25
mutant.
years.
Right.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm telling you, I've been telepathically communicating with her. And he was like, you have to help her. And
Yeah.
he's like, you're out of your mind. Take your pills. He basically shoves the pills down his throat.
So I think we get kind of like a montage of him afterward, of him just doing random jobs from him, you know.
We do, but real quick, I love Professor X doing the commercials in the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He's rolling around in a wheelchair and he's repeating all the commercials on the TV.
Taco burrito.
Yeah. Just to see Patrick Stewart in that form as Xavier
Yes.
is great.
It is.
I like it.
Get it at your newest Taco Bell.
So, yeah, we get the montage of him doing all the jobs. So, bachelorette party, just whatever he can do as a limo driver.
Yeah.
We see our first, like, boobies in a X-Men
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
It was the only time I was like, what? And I think I said this when we recorded last time. It was the only moment that my 8-year-old looked at the screen.
Yes.
He was watching his tablet, and he looked up at the screen, and the girl flashed Logan. And he looked at me, and I said, they're just boobs, dude. They're just boobs. And he looked back at his tablet. And I'm
He's
like, God
like,
dang, seriously.
They're not
The-
just boobs,
The
Dad.
split second. The
course.
split second that he could look at the TV.
Right.
See, I have the opposite. I always look away at that moment. Like, I miss the whole Janet
You got-
Jackson
Oh, you got to rewind?
Super Bowl
Got to pause it?
wardrobe malfunction because I looked away. And
Her
I
malfunction as she had a pasty on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Anyways, we won't get into that. That is not for another time.
No,
Okay,
okay, good. During this time, a woman keeps coming up to him saying, Logan, Wolverine, I need your help. And he's like, yep, nope, steering. I
want no part of you.
Exactly.
Those days are over.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not trying to help anyone. They recognize him from the comic books because in this multiverse, there are X-Men comic books, so he is
Right.
famous.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Think if you were having a bachelorette or a bachelor party and Wolverine shows up to drive your limousine around.
Right?
That'd be awesome.
It would be
Just
awesome.
be hanging out with Wolverine all night.
I know. Just
Let's
be
go to the
chilling.
bar. Let's beat people up.
Right.
Right.
I'll buy your drinks all night long. But
Yeah.
you got to beat up everybody I tell you to beat up.
Right. He eventually, though, I believe, gets a job on his phone and goes to pick up the person, and it is...
Well, right before then, though, he meets Pierce, who is in charge
in
of the
the car.
Reavers in the car. And he's like, hey, have you been seeing this one girl? You know, she has a little girl with her. And, you know, I just wanted to know if, you know, you run across him. So,
And
Big
Pierce
fan.
is,
heard of him.
is part cyborg, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he has
like
one arm.
He has one arm that is like a metal arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a bit enhanced,
Yeah.
So,
along with half his crew.
And he also says like that he admires Logan.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a big fan.
Yeah, he's a big
Yeah.
fan of him.
look up
But
to you
he's
when you're-
but he's working, and you know,
Yeah.
it's his job to track the chick down. So.
That's right.
So, yeah, he gets a job. He goes and meets.
What was her name?
Gabriella.
Gabriella.
Before this, though, he goes back to the facility where he has
Charles.
Xavier, and he's having a seizure at that point, and he has to go and then give him the medicine to make sure that he's good. And during this, Charles Xavier suffers from a seizure. Hugh Jackman did not merely act as if he was being pushed away. Instead, he was held back by a rope and pulley by two men in order to give it a more realistic portrayal of being restrained.
That's cool.
So
I like it when they put that kind of thought into it.
yeah. But yeah, gets that job from Gabriella. He goes back. I'll come back in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we'll leave. I'm not leaving tonight. I got to go take care of some stuff. So, yeah, he goes back.
But he takes half the money, doesn't he?
He does.
He does.
Yeah. And the whole purpose is he wants enough money to buy this boat.
Yeah. And she's giving him almost the exact amount of money. Half now, half whenever they get to
South Dakota.
Or South Dakota, yeah. We realize later that was a mistake, though, because he goes back and Gabriella is dead.
This is when Pierce comes walking up.
This is when he heads back to the facility again to beat feet because he knows that they're going to come looking for him because the girl's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
And
she's stowed in the trunk.
She's stowed in the trunk, yeah, and he didn't know it. And
right.
He's trying to get everything together, and then Pierce comes up and starts to do his thing.
Hey, where's the girl? And he's like, I don't know. Yeah.
And then the girl hits him in the head
and
knocks him out cold.
And he sends...
What did she throw at him to knock him out? I think it was like a pipe.
No, she hit him with a pipe, I think. Yeah. And that's when he was like, Caliban, take him, throw him in the ditch.
Yeah. And then come back.
And then come back.
Text me when you're coming back.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't work well for
No, it does
Caliban.
not.
It doesn't. No.
Poor Caliban gets out there and screws around, and old boy wakes up and gets the drop on him just about the same time his crew shows up, and it's all over for Caliban.
We get kind of a fun scene, Daphne King as X-23, which I really loved her in this movie. I thought she was
great.
a complete
She's awesome.
badass.
She really doesn't have any lines except towards the end, but she's a silent character, but just her fight scenes. And because she's a female Wolverine, she has 2 instead of 3 claws, but the third claw is coming out of her feet.
Yeah.
Right.
So when she's fighting, she'll kick someone in the neck with a claw coming out of her shoe.
Oh. She was so brutal. And then her and Wolverine, Logan, played off each other so well in those fight scenes.
Rolling off each other's backs and throwing.
They put a lot of choreography into that made it look so just
incredible. Yeah.
Comic book.
And again, there's no hurting her, you know?
No.
Like, she's just
the same.
This tiny little monster that is just
all
tearing
over you.
All over the place. Yeah, there's no stopping her.
We get the introduction to her character. Pierce's guys roll up. Pierce shows up and he's like, hey, man, shouldn't have done that. Wolverine's like, where is she? I know she's here. Daphne, she's just sitting down eating Cheerios or whatever.
I love it. Yeah.
They send the whole squad in after her.
Mm-hmm.
They walk in the room. Her back is to him, but she's still eating cereal.
Yeah.
She knows they're there. You can see her eyes look to see that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to kill all these dudes.
Yep.
And this is when it gets crazy because she takes them all out. Yeah. And we get like kind of I wouldn't say
Wolverine had went and got Xavier as she was eating.
Yeah.
And put him in the limousine, and he was going to get out of there.
And leave her
just there.
Completely.
He does not want anything to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
We get kind of a cut back to Logan outside with Pierce. And then you hear just screaming and gunfire coming from the building. And they're like, well, it doesn't sound like a girl scream, so we know what's going on in there. Great shot.
Emerges from the building.
She has something in her hand. Like it's so far away.
Basketball.
You can't see what it is.
Yeah.
She's carrying it, and then she gets kind of closer into focus, throws that thing, and it's someone's head.
The biggest dude.
Really, this is probably
over.
one of the guards she had seen
It was
at the facility.
It was the biggest dude they sent in there.
Well, what I'm saying is she probably knew exactly who he was. You know?
Threw his head back out there like, who's next?
Yeah.
Right.
And then chaos.
Because y'all ain't shit.
Yeah. This is when we get the big fight scene.
It was great.
We get a chase scene, I think.
No, they fight.
They fight.
They fight?
They fight, and then they chase.
Gotcha.
He gets in the car in the 2024 limousine. Is a Chrysler limousine.
Yes.
And he's trying to get out of there. I like the scene where he runs into the fence and the fence stops him, and it's like it's like stretching the fence.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's got to back up, take another shot at it.
Yeah. So they get out and they see a train, and he drives just in front of it and clears it.
Clips.
And this train is miles long.
Mm-hmm.
So they get away. This is when we find out that
Daphne Keene, X-23.
Well, that Caliban's alive.
Yeah.
And they start using Caliban to track.
And they're stopping at that gas station.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
It's right when they leave, and he's like using the phone or something, and
he's got to go in and clean himself up.
Yeah,
because he's all bloodied still.
Yeah,
and she goes in there, grabs food and
sunglasses,
and clerk stops her. He's like, "You gonna pay for that?" And she's like, "Nothing. I'll just kill you."
Yeah, and Logan runs in and stops her, and he's like, "That is bad.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Okay.
Not okay."
Little small detail right before that, they're sitting outside, and she's riding one of those like
little horses
that take like a quarter or whatever, and right outside, and she gets upset that it stops, and then he just takes another quarter, puts it back in, and then she goes right back into riding that horse. So they stop in Oklahoma City at a hotel.
Yep.
And we get kind of a montage, not necessarily
it kind of looks like Vegas for some reason.
It was a casino.
Really
it's a casino, but it really, when she's looking out the window, it looks like there are all sorts of casinos and stuff. Yeah, it looks like a weird little Vegas in the future.
And,
but
it wasn't. It was Okie City.
Okie City. May have had legalized gambling in Okie City in 2029.
Hey, probably. Him and they're just driving his old-ass Chrysler.
Right?
Yeah. We get kind of a good scene between X-23 and Charles Xavier. They're sitting down there watching Shane, and he's talking about, remember this movie's over 100 years old, and I remember watching this with my dad, and so on and so forth, and kind of talks about the overall themes of the movie, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, he goes into it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hugh Jackman has Gabriella's phone, and he's kind of sitting down at a bar, and he's watching like very well made cell phone video documentary.
Oh, the editing on that thing was
great.
Beautiful. But really, I mean, you can do that with TikTok now, and if this is 2029,
who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Could have been AI edited.
Even though the phone was from like 2001, it looked like, but whatever.
But she kind of explains that X-23 isn't actually her daughter. It's one of these kids that were grown in,
with the DNA of a mutant.
And she just so happened to be...
She's a clone/daughter of Wolverine. Right.
She gets together all of these kids, they form an escape, and then they all take off, and then that's immediately where we're caught up to date with all of the events on X-23's side.
So he goes to sell the limousine, right?
Well, no, he
scraps the then he goes and buys a truck and then has tires put on it.
Right, and then when he gets back...
That's when
Pierce and the Reavers
have shown up, and Charles has another seizure.
He has a big seizure.
And now he's got to fight his way from the lobby all the way up to the room and in the room. Now, what was great about this...
No one can move.
No one can move except for Wolverine,
and that's I think just because he knows how to handle it.
Yeah. Well, they are, as Caliban had said earlier, you are less affected by it than everyone else because of your healing abilities.
Right.
He's fighting his way upstairs, and what's great about it is he gets to the room, and the Reavers are in there. As he's going by each one of them, he's slowly killing them one by one. And they can do nothing but watch. They can move their eyes, but they can't move anything else. I can't imagine how terrifying that had been for the guys that died. Watching this guy slowly just walk up and just like, I'm going to kill you nice and slow now. You enjoy.
Yeah, because you can see their eyes move towards him, and they're like really wide. Yeah.
There's one that gets stabbed like through the face or something, and you see the claws poke out. Like, ugh.
And so once he gets in the room and gets the medicine from X-23, what is her name? It's Lori.
Laura Kinney.
Laura. So he gets the syringe from her, jabs old Chuck. And then once he does that, all the bodies just drop, except for one, which Lori soon just finishes off.
Yeah. I think also before he left, he was angry because he found the X-Men comics.
Right.
And he found the Eden.
Right.
And the coordinates were
the same ones
on the money packet that he got. Yeah. So he realized that she's wanting to go to this place that's in a comic book that's not real.
Right.
He was like, this happened, but it didn't happen this way. This is not what actually happened. These coordinates are not correct, and he gets mad and goes.
What he didn't realize is the coordinates didn't matter. It was just a rally point.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't realize that.
Right.
He thinks that she thinks they're going to Eden.
Right.
And he is like, she has a plan.
Right.
So he gets mad, goes down, drinks, watches the video, and then we're caught up to where we are.
Right.
So then they escape in the truck. And that's when the doctor shows up, right? Mm-hmm. And they realize that Caliban has been withholding information and giving them a head start. He's not telling them exactly where they are. He's like, leading them on just a little bit. So this is when we get Logan and Charles and Laura
road tripping,
driving on the highway with all the automated trucks.
Right.
Yeah.
And the automated truck takes a truck off the road with
A bunch of
horse
cattle.
trailer.
Horse trailer. With,
You're right.
it's horses.
Yeah.
And they pull over and stop.
Right.
And the farmer says,
Logan doesn't want to help, but
Yeah.
of
he's
course
like, we got to keep going. Charles is
somebody
like,
will come
help
along.
him.
He's like, somebody will come along. Someone has come along.
It's us.
Right. And this is the Munson family, I think. Is
Sure.
what they are. Yeah. Charles helps wrangle up the horses using
Charles Powers.
Charles Powers, and they invite him over to the farm. Yeah.
Which Logan knew that was a bad idea.
Oh, I mean, we all knew it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Especially the way that the movie was going, you knew that something was going to happen with these family members.
Right.
It
And,
was just
and
collateral
Charles
damage.
is like, let's sleep in like a bed. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a good night rest and eat, homemade food.
Yeah, and kill these people.
Yeah, no shit.
Was it worth it, Charles?
Yeah, Charles.
Was it worth
Come on,
it?
Charles.
I guess you died, so
Yeah. Spoiler.
we'll get there.
So, according to one of the files obtained from the lab, one of the children was the specimen derived from Christopher Bradley, a former cohort of Logan from X-Men Origins Wolverine, under the alias Bolt, which explains the child's ability to summon and manipulate electricity.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Dope.
We get kind of a subplot where the dad of this family is like, oh shoot, the water
quit working.
so they had to go back out and turn this water on. It's chained up, and you're kind of like, I wonder what's going on here. And there's some kind of discrepancy between the dad and then like this big farm
Like
landowner.
corporation, like farm owner.
Yeah.
Probably has 50,000 acres, and
Wants to
they're controlling.
push this guy out.
They're controlling the water. Yeah.
Right.
And Logan gets involved with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Logan does.
Yeah.
Doesn't take kindly to people being a bully.
Right.
It's waving guns in people's faces and all that stuff. So.
Take your crap and go home.
He just punches him in the face, doesn't he?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
tears his gun up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting punched with that hand?
No.
How
I'm surprised
bad
it didn't
that would
kill
hurt.
him.
Boom.
I'm
Right?
surprised it didn't
Little like
kill him.
shatter his face.
Yeah.
Just nice adamantium, just right
Fist.
hook.
Right. So, but at this point in time, when they're gone,
Well, we get a cut to where this scene has just ended, and then it cuts to
Back at the house.
back at
Back
the
at the
house,
house.
and Charles Xavier's sitting in bed, and then you see the outline of Wolverine walking up to Charles Xavier. We don't see who it is, but we're led
We
to
assume
believe that it's Wolverine.
But it's Logan.
And Charles Xavier starts talking about how he's always cared about Logan. He's always been so good, and
Right.
he just hopes that he forgives him for everything, if I remember right.
yeah.
And
Because he had
walks up.
killed a whole bunch of X-Men, I believe, right?
Yeah.
it was implied that Charles Xavier's seizures are what took out the
X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah. So he apologizes, and then Wolverine fist goes up to Charles' chest. And we're like, oh, that's kind of a sweet endeavor. And then his eyes just like widen up, and then they get a chink, and claws go straight through him.
Yep.
Charles Xavier just dies.
Right.
And then we cut back, and it's a very young Hugh Jackman and
A clone.
X-24.
X-24.
Yeah.
Who is like a mindless Wolverine that is just
Yeah.
following orders.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
as long as he gets to kill.
And so the wife
care.
is like, what are you doing?
And he just starts murdering
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep. And then
Murders her.
the boy, no, he murders the boy.
Yep.
And then the wife goes to shoot him or does shoot him.
Yeah. And then she gets dead.
She gets dead.
and the husband runs upstairs.
Yep.
And he gets
Because
dead.
Logan and the husband pull up to the house and hear the gun.
Right.
And he runs up.
And he
He gets kind of dead.
yeah.
Charles-
you think he dies.
What I thought was
Wolverine-
was funny
yeah.
is when X-24 comes walking down the stairs with the girl
Yeah.
because he's got her all clamped up and walking down the stairs, and Logan is standing at the bottom of the stairs, and he just looks at him and keeps right on walking. You're not a threat to me.
Right. Whatsoever.
You're not my mission. I got what I came for, and I'm just going to keep on walking. The whole time Logan's like, what the actual F is going on here?
Right.
I'm looking at myself walk down these stairs, and it was like, how badass is this guy that he's just like, I'm not even going to mess with you.
Right.
You're nothing to me.
Yeah.
So he runs up the stairs as he takes Laura out.
Right.
Wolverine runs up the stairs, finds Charles, takes him downstairs, puts him in the back of the truck,
And that's when he dies.
He says he sees him die, and he looks over and he sees
X-24,
and then like the Reavers and everyone showing up.
Well, then at this point, old boy comes back with his crew for the farm boys, and they meet who they thought was Logan. And this is not the nice, just punch you in the face, Logan.
Right. This is
you all get to die now. Yeah. And it's just fun for me.
At this point, too, Pierce tells the doctor that you're the only one he listens to. You need to be the one that reels him in.
Better go back there and get him.
Yeah, you gotta get him.
Get him under control.
Doctor walks out. He starts trying to talk to X-24. And at this point, we cut to Caliban. And the boys are getting ready because, Logan just showed up and they're getting ready for a fight.
Right.
And while they're distracted, Caliban takes one of the grenades.
Takes two of them.
Yeah, pulls the pin. And then what does he say?
He screams.
Yeah.
I forgot what he said.
He says something to him. And then they turn around and it gives them enough time to jump, Pierce enough time to jump out of the boat.
That's the only thing about this movie that pissed me off. Why not just wait a split second?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pierce would have just been taken care of.
Right?
Great job, Caliban.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
Right.
We get this fight. Wolverine goes up. He gets Charles Xavier, puts him in the back of the truck bed.
Yep.
And then is able to get X-24. They have a small skirmish where Logan just gets his butt whooped by X-24.
Gets worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets worked, and that's when Will shows up and drives a truck into him.
Yes,
Yeah.
the dad.
And pins him.
Against a farm implement.
Yeah, and he can't.
He can't get off.
X-24 can't get off, yeah.
And then he gets out with the shotgun, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
and points it at Logan.
Points it at Logan.
Well, he shoots X-24.
Yeah, that's right.
Twice, and then he goes to shoot Logan.
There's no bullets.
There's no bullets, and then he keels over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which
ends that family.
Yeah, Logan, Laura, and Xavier's body all escape.
Yeah.
And the next thing we get is him burying Charles next to
A lake.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
Been kind of told throughout that Logan's getting older. Adamantium in his body is poisoning himself, and his healing factor is slowly
dropping off.
Because of the battle that he just had with X-24, he is hurting.
Yep, gonna need some time.
Bad.
Yeah. She drives him to a doctor, I believe. He wakes up like in a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, she stole a car.
God, this is when you see his chest.
Did she kill the dude that was fishing, or do you think she just took the car?
Oh, I think no, she just took the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he went off with like his dog, and I think she threw him in the back.
Yeah, you saw his like Mariana's Trench.
Oh my
carved
God.
across his
seriously,
chest.
his wounds were like he's laying there, and the doctor's like, "How is this even possible?"
Well, he knew who he was,
Right, but then he just puts a shirt on like it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine being that like just to pain like?
Yeah.
Because he has said in the past when his claws come out, it hurts every time, like he's being stabbed in the hands.
He goes, just because I heal doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He's gone through
I can't
a lot.
imagine the pain he's been through.
Yeah.
Ugh,
250 some years of
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd be grumpy too.
man, just wait. He still has to fight the Hulk.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes to get in the truck, right? And this is when she talks for the first time.
Yes.
And she says, that's just our rendezvous point. Like, all of the children, that's where we're going to meet, right?
Right.
And, like, she was like, you have to help me get there because we're going to cross over from North Dakota to Canada.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to help me get there.
Which is it's smart,
But she also had found the bullet in his pocket
yeah.
at this point in time.
And
Right.
he kind of explains that, well, he doesn't explain to her, but we did miss a little snippet where between him and Charles Xavier that the reason that they were going to buy the boat was to go out and then they were just going to die
Yeah.
on the boat. And he has this bullet, adamantium bullet, that he was going to do himself in with after
Charles died.
Right. They get to North Dakota, and I think he drove again, right? Didn't he pass out again or
I
something?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, and when he wakes up, she's gone, and he gets out, and she's like climbing up this cliff.
Yeah.
And he's chasing after her, and ends up passing out up there as well because he's dying.
Dying.
Yeah, he is straight
Over.
up dying now.
Yeah, he's not
And
coming back from this one.
They pull him up on the hoist.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how heavy that was? I wonder what he weighs. It's got to be 500 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
All that metal.
It's got to be.
Yeah, and so they give him some stuff to help him heal and just feel better, faster.
And then they give him, what is it, one vial?
One vial, and they're like, don't use it all at one time
Yeah.
because it'll kill you. Like,
Yeah.
you got to use it just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And he's still laying in bed, and they all take off, right?
Yeah. They're leaving.
they're leaving.
And as they're leaving, he gets up and he's kind of watching them through the binoculars because they're in like a ranger station guard tower.
Yeah, like it's like a fire
overlook.
It's like a fire watch.
And as he's watching them go, he sees a whole bunch of
military
vehicles pulling up, and he knows it's go time.
And they won't make it unless he goes up there and does Wolverine type stuff.
Right. He stabs himself with the entire vial that he's not supposed to take all at once, and then he gets juiced up and he starts taking off.
Sprints up the mountain.
Yes.
Yeah, he takes out almost all the Reavers at this point in time.
Yeah.
Well, along with all of the other kids that are part of that group, because there was a guy that was like attacked by bees and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
There are some
their powers are pretty
horrible
awesome.
deaths.
Yeah.
Other than getting massacred by Wolverine.
Ugh.
Yeah, X-24 pops out.
Round 2.
Yeah, here we go.
But we also find out at this point in time that Pierce was the one that put the stuff in the food throughout the world that stopped the mutations from happening.
Right.
Yeah. He's holding Rice. Was that his name? Mm-hmm. The kid that gave Wolverine the serum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was holding him, saying that he had killed Rice's father at the Weapon X facility, and you get a whole bunch of like, this is why this is going on in this.
Right.
But then X-24 gets released.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it becomes chaos.
100% chaos. Yeah. And all of the kids, they take out Pierce in one of the worst deaths ever, where they're all using their combination of powers.
Gets sucked into the ground.
Yeah.
And frozen.
He's got vines like squirting through his body and everything.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. And we get a really cool fight scene. Wolverine and X-23.
It's
and
a pretty
then
intense
X-24.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets impaled on a tree stump.
Logan gets impaled.
Oh, yeah, Logan gets impaled on a tree stump. Laura enough time to shoot X-24 in the head with the adamantium bullet.
Right.
She goes over and he says, "This is what it's like."
What it feels like.
Yeah, this is what it feels like
to die.
When the birds cry.
So I thought that it was, this is what it's like to be a dad.
When the doves cry.
Please
Quit
stop.
saying it.
Yeah,
Quit saying it.
Quit saying what?
You're triggering me.
I'm not triggered. I'm sitting here quiet listening to Calvin.
I'm sorry.
I
might have fallen asleep there just for like a split second.
I think you may have.
I think I had a fever dream.
I think you did. Well, what the hell is going on?
It's
I don't
contagious.
know.
It's
I don't
contagious.
know.
Why?
Dave's lost his mind.
Where were we?
I don't know.
We're reviewing Logan.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the end.
Oh.
This is the
This is
second
where Logan
time.
dies.
Yeah.
It's still recording.
Okay, good.
If it wouldn't have been, it would have just been done.
That's the
Yeah.
lost episode.
That's the lost. So he got impaled.
Yeah.
Laura goes up to him, is talking to him.
They bury him. They put up a cross. And one of the last shots, as they give the eulogy, she quotes the ending of Shane.
Well, he
Same
tells her
lines.
not to become the weapon that she was designed to be.
Yeah, that's right. But right before he dies, and then he says, "So this is what it's like." Mm-hmm. They bury him. She says the lines from Shane. They put up a makeshift cross, and then as they're walking away, she comes back, and then she tilts it to where it's
An X.
Yeah,
And that's the end of the movie.
that's the end. That's Logan.
Nope.
So
Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Yep.
Great
Yeah.
fight scenes, acting,
Yeah.
great story. Mm-hmm. Great way to tie everything in.
Shot well.
Shot well. Great, even the forest scene. The cinematography was really good.
I loved it. Yeah,
Because you go from the desert to Oklahoma to,
yeah,
to North Dakota. So
it's good.
they span.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
While auditioning for the part of Laura, Daphne Keane asked director James Mangold if she could improvise her lines. After Hugh Jackman started his dialogue, King interrupted him by yelling at him in perfect Spanish, something that was later indicated in the finished movie. Her dedication for that scene during the audition was praised by Jackman and Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir.
Hell yeah.
That was high
Patrick Stewart.
praise.
So,
High praise.
casting I thought was fantastic. I loved X-23.
Well, you're kind of hemmed in with some casting.
Yeah. Other than the go-to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that everybody else did it. Daphne Keane was a great addition. And
I think Stephen Merchant did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked his character a lot. I can't
Yeah.
say enough about him.
I also like Pierce. I feel like that actor doesn't get enough.
Yeah, he's a
Credit,
He's
yeah.
a great
Whoever played the other Wolverine was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
a young Jack guy with a CGI face.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's Logan. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we get into our rating?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Do you guys remember what our rating scale is?
No.
I believe it's an S through F.
Yeah.
It is.
And S being the best, top notch, no complaints. We have 3. We have The Exorcist, The Way Back, and Jaws.
There we go.
And then we go to A, which is your top notch movie with maybe a complaint. No more than one usually. Just a great movie. B, solid movie, couple of complaints. Maybe watch it, maybe not, but you're probably going to like it. C is just your average movie. Take it or leave it. It's going to have its issues. And then D is going to be a bad movie with a redeeming quality, possibly.
Yeah.
And then F is just terrible.
Terrible. Trash.
Avoid at all costs.
Regret watching.
Exactly.
For sure.
And we haven't had any Fs yet.
We have
not. No.
Nope. I might think about that. But
Might think about that.
yeah.
If anybody has a request for an F movie.
I mean, I have one. I've told you this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want some other people to chime in.
Yeah.
You just don't want to watch this movie.
I am kind of terrified to watch that movie.
You should be. You might end up liking it. Who knows?
I highly doubt it. We're all going to have to sit down and watch this together. Because
I haven't seen it in 20 years. I just own it because I had to own it.
Yeah.
I know that, I mean, it did at least have the quality that I had this, like, what the F moment is happening. And I couldn't take my eyes off of it, and I had to finish the movie. Yeah. So I guess it has one good thing, that it kept me, like...
Engaged.
But it kept me,
it's like a train wreck.
Right. You can't look away.
Watch it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. All right. Anyways.
All right. Anyway.
So what do you give this movie?
I give this movie an A. Like I said, it's a little bit of pacing here and there. A couple of scenes I didn't really agree with doing. Like, I'm not sure I would have if I was in the position of Logan, I wouldn't have gone back. I would have taken them with me and told them, look, this is what I'm doing. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's not that far. It's across the border and back.
Right. But also, I wouldn't have went with the family. I would have fought Xavier on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am not going to a farmhouse when we are obviously being chased by killers.
Yeah.
Who don't care.
Right. Let's help this family out.
I'll help them, but we're not going.
And then they're all dead, including the teenage boy.
Exactly. It's a terrible choice.
Yeah, it was a terrible choice.
Way to go, Chuck.
Idiot. He does have dementia.
Yeah. Really? I was only thinking of himself. Thinking of himself.
I could see...
Selfish freaking Charles Xavier.
I could see them helping the horses,
and then move along your way.
Along.
But also, who helps someone on the highway and then says, "You want to come eat at my house?"
Yeah,
no one.
Right?
Well, they didn't even know who they were either. Like,
no,
I mean,
they were scared when they learned that.
What are the odds that 2 serial killers meeting on the highway?
Yeah,
let alone a third.
Right.
So. Anyway.
I agree with everything you said. I'm gonna go A+. I think it's real close to an S. I really do. I'm finding things to bitch about.
Yeah.
These are not like obvious. They're
Right.
I'm just finding them.
Right.
But don't think it's quite an S. It's real close.
Real close.
Very close.
But it's an A+.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you guys. A+. It doesn't hit that S tier. You know what I'm saying? Just barely.
It didn't have a really satisfying ending.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt cheap
And quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had to die, and it was sad.
Yes,
but like
it could have been a little more epic.
Yeah.
Right. After everything that guy's been
Right.
through.
Yeah.
He died on a tree stump.
At his own hand.
We get a little redemption with that later on.
We get the redemption. I'm just saying it's just the payoff. We didn't get the payoff at the end that I was looking for.
I agree.
The body is used as a payoff. Later
That's what
on.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was used later.
So are we going, what, A+ on it?
I'm good for A+.
A plus is
A+
fine.
it is.
Fine with me. Okay, cool.
Oh my God, we made it. We did it, guys.
Finally.
We finally
Is it
completed
still
it.
recording?
It's still recording.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we will see you guys on the next one where
right.
we'll be reviewing
Under an hour.
Yeah.
Alien.
All right,
So-
we're doing Alien next. Cool.
Alien,
All right.
sweet. Oi, oi.
Awesome.
All right,
Oi, oi.
bye.
Bye.
Oh, you.
Oh, yeah. Hello and welcome to the Postcast. Corrections for this week. I called Wolverine's Berserker Rage Berserker Mode, so apologize to the biggest X-Man fan in the entire world, Comics Explained, and the other happy few who know the correct terminology. Rob, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something.
Love your channel, buddy. I also wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. Shout out to our new listeners and subscribers. Thank you for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group or check out our Reddit sub. Be sure to tell us what you think the movie should be rated or what movie we should record next. And be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found. Look for our next episode, Monday, August 12th, as we review Ridley Scott's classic horror movie, Alien, just in time for Alien Romulus. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.